Hello, Steve White, Trickboy 89 for Steve Arts 89. Well, the Paramount merger is finally going through. The FCC has basically given approval and they've transferred over the licenses or whatever from Paramount to Skydance, so CBS, and that can operate and everything. And it looks like we're going to get a shake-up for Star Trek, which is good. It needs it, and that's what I've been focused on. There's been more involved that I've been becoming aware of. But it sounds like they've got time, and they're just sitting on the fence. They're just going to see if Starfleet Academy is any good, and if it is, they'll probably negotiate a new contract where they get to continue that, but probably that's it. And they'll probably just it'll be like that show contract for that show. You don't run Star Trek anymore, and they'll create more of an overall franchise plan for Star Trek. I think that's probably what's going to happen. But if Starfleet Academy, doesn't do very well, which is pretty much what I'm expecting, they're probably just going to let them go altogether. They'd have to have a hit to justify renegotiating the contract, but it would still be done in Paramount's favour, and I think it would be very, very much limited to just producing this one thing and not having that reign over the whole franchise that Kurtzman's had. So it started off sounding really good, like, yeah, we're going to get rid of him and just going to take Star Trek back in-house and do our own thing, and we're going to do some movies to launch another version of the universe, or go back to the original canon universe. And they're looking to do that, and it's a bit all over the place, but it's I don't like the idea of Kurtzman staying in, but I don't see this show being a big hit. Now, we've had some photos coming out from it, and they look pretty basic. It looks just like Discovery. There's nothing visually to distinguish it from the other shows. It doesn't seem to have its own voice or identity. It's just, reused Star Trek, Discovery sets, the Strange New World sets. And I know they built this big giant set they kept bragging about. It's the biggest set we've ever built on Star Trek, but it's the only set you built. And it seems like you're doing the whole show on that one set, and it just looks cheap. Even though you spent a fortune making this big set, just using it for everything, it just looks really cheap, and that's what it looks like they're doing. There's a bunch of things that are just that's like how they did with Deep Space Nine, where they reuse that set all the time. It looks like they're just going to do the same thing. So yeah, we've got a picture of Holly Hunter in her on a bridge, in her command chair, and some aliens. There's a Klingon and a Jem'Hadar, and the uniforms are awful. These people are so stupid, because they did this already with Discovery. At the end of season 4, they created these Nazi grey uniforms, which are awful. They looked uncomfortable. They didn't look like Star Trek. They just were awful. And then they put them on the set and realised, oh, we've got a grey set with people in grey costumes. That doesn't work. Gee, it's almost like all the other people who've produced the show over the last couple of decades realise you have to have people in bright colours or black to stand out from the set, which is what all those costumes basically were. And they just repeated the same mistake that they did at the end of season 4. Unfortunately, they had season 5, they could change it all, and they went back to the drawing board and did, black and colour uniforms, and it looked fine. This one, they screwed up at the start, and I guess they kind of stuck with it. They've made the uniforms, that's what they're stuck with. So it looks awful and bland. You can't spot the people, you can't, tell the people from the background. The only good thing about it is, and that's just my gay perv meter, the guys, of course, wearing these light white grey uniforms. You can see their packages, so we'll be seeing some VPLs and stuff, which is good for a perv. But I mean that's kind of why you make the pants black, so you don't have a Decker incident. If you all know what I'm talking about from Star Trek The Motion Picture, and that's still horrifying. And how they didn't fix that in the special edition, I don't know, because, yeah, especially considering now the baggage that comes with that actor, you don't want to be looking. So, yeah, it doesn't look that great. It doesn't look that remarkable. It looks just really same, and I can't imagine just having a bunch of kids a bit younger than the characters they already had on Discovery that were pretty young acting. And I had a couple of kids on that as well. I can't imagine it's going to do very well. I can't imagine it's going to be some big hit that's going to save Kurtzman or anything. So I think they'll basically work out how to get out of the contract and if the show isn't that remarkable, they'll just let it run its 2 years, and then they'll just let Kurtzman's contract end, and then they'll just focus on Star Trek as a franchise as a whole, and then just bring on people per series. Because if they learn anything from what's happening with James Gunn, is you don't give one artist reign over a whole universe and a whole franchise of different shows. You have to have different people doing them, and you can't have a creative person in charge, because they'll put their style and flavour on the whole thing, and it'll stop other creators from coming in. You need to just have people come in and work on each thing separately. So have each series have its own sort of showrunner and style and flavour, and that'll work better than just having one person running the whole show. Because if you don't like it, the whole franchise is nothing, If you love it, I guess you're going to love all of them. But if you don't, it's like there's no variety with Kurtzman. So hopefully they won't make that mistake again, and we'll see. We'll see what happens.